Welcome to Sinister States.
I didn't go looking for it. That's the first thing I need you to understand. I wasn't bored, I wasn't trying to scare myself, and I definitely wasn't expecting to find anything. It started in the most normal way possible, the kind of thing you've probably done 100 times without thinking about it. A friend sent me a link. That's it. No warning, no context, just a message that said, "Bro, is this you?" I almost didn't click it. I was in the middle of something else, half paying attention, half scrolling through notifications, but there was something about the way he phrased it. Not, "Is this your video?" or "Did you make this?" Just, "Is this you?" So I opened it. At first, nothing felt wrong. It was a video, a normal video, filmed in a bedroom that looked familiar in a vague, unimportant way. Neutral walls, a desk in the corner, a chair I could have sworn I'd seen before. The lighting was dim, like it was recorded late at night with just that monitor casting that soft blue glow. Then, the person in the video moved, and I felt something drop in my stomach, because it was me. Not someone who looked like me, not someone similar. Me. Same face, same hair, same stupid habit of rubbing my eyes when I'm tired. Even the same hoodie I was wearing that exact day, the same small stain near the cuff that I kept forgetting to wash out. I paused the video. I actually laughed at first, not because it was funny, but because my brain didn't have anything else to do. It felt like a joke I didn't understand yet. Like any second now, I'd realize what was going on and it would all click into place. Deepfake, I thought. It had to be. I'd seen enough of those online. Faces mapped onto other people, voices copied, movements stitched together. It wasn't impossible anymore. It was normal. Scary, yeah, but explainable. So I unpaused the video and watched more carefully. The person on screen, me, was talking. Just talking. Casual, relaxed, looking directly into the camera like he'd done it 1,000 times. "I didn't think you'd find this so soon," he said. I paused it again. My heart was beating faster now, not because of what he said, but because of how he said it. There was no distortion, no glitching, no weird artifacts in the face or voice. Everything was smooth, natural, real. Too real. I scrubbed back to the beginning and checked the upload time. 3 hours ago. I checked the channel. That's when it got worse. Because it wasn't just one video. There were dozens, all uploaded over the past few weeks, all of me. Different days, different clothes, different angles. Sometimes sitting at the desk, sometimes standing, once even lying in bed, staring up at the ceiling like he was thinking about something too heavy to say out loud. Each video had views, comments, people interacting. "Bro, your content is underrated. This is actually kind of creepy, LOL, but I like it. Why do you look so tired in this one?" I clicked another video at random. This one was older, about 2 weeks back. Same room, same camera angle, same me. But something about it felt off. Not visually. Everything looked perfect. If anything, it was too perfect.
Like the lighting always hit just right. Like the framing never slipped. Like there was an invisible hand making sure everything stayed exactly how it should be. No, what felt wrong was the way he talked. "I know you're watching these," he said, smiling slightly, "even if you don't remember recording them." I felt a cold sensation crawl up my spine. I didn't remember recording them, because I hadn't. I checked my phone, my camera roll, my storage, my accounts. Nothing. No traces, no uploads, no drafts, no deleted files. It wasn't just that I didn't remember making these videos. It was that there was no evidence I ever had. I went back to the channel and opened the most recent upload again, the one my friend sent me. I forced myself to watch it all the way through this time. Me, was sitting closer to the camera than in the others, leaning forward slightly, like he was trying to be more personal, more direct, more real. "I guess this is the part where it gets confusing for you," he said. "But don't worry, it was confusing for me too." He tilted his head slightly, a movement so small, so natural, it made my skin crawl. "But you'll understand soon." The video ended there. No explanation, no context, just that. I sat there staring at the screen for a long time after it finished, waiting for something else to happen, for another video to autoplay, for some kind of glitch or reveal that would break the illusion and show me what was really going on. Nothing happened, just silence. Then my phone buzzed, a new notification from YouTube. I frowned. I hadn't subscribed to the channel. I hadn't interacted with it. There was no reason I should be getting notifications from it. But I opened it anyway. New upload. From that same channel, uploaded just seconds ago. My fingers felt numb as I tapped it. The video loaded, and there I was again. Same room, same face, but this time, he was smiling. Not the casual, relaxed smile from before. Something else. Something that felt like it was meant for me. "I was wondering when you'd find me," he said. My blood ran cold. Because this time, he wasn't just looking at the camera. He was looking at me.
No, I muttered under my breath. No, this is fake. It had to be. It had to be some kind of edited footage, something pre-recorded, something stitched together from old clips. There was no way it could be live. No way it could be real. But even as I thought that, the version of me on screen moved. Slowly, deliberately. He stepped forward, coming closer to the camera, and for a brief second, his eyes shifted, not just toward the lens, but slightly past it, like he was looking at something else, something behind the camera, something in the room. I froze, every muscle in my body locked up as a single thought forced its way into my mind. If that camera was in my room, then what was it seeing that I wasn't? I spun around again, faster this time, scanning every corner, every shadow, every space where something could be hidden. Nothing. Just my room. Just me. I let out a shaky breath and turned back to the screen. He was closer now, close enough that I could see the details in his face, the small imperfections, the tiny scar near my eyebrow, the way one side of my lip pulled slightly higher when I wasn't fully smiling. Things that couldn't be faked, things that couldn't be copied that perfectly. He leaned in toward the camera and whispered something. I didn't catch it the first time. My hands were shaking as I scrubbed the video back a few seconds and played it again. This time, I turned the volume up, way up, and listened carefully. "I can see you," he said. The words hit me like a physical impact. I jerked back in my chair, my heart slamming against my ribs so hard it felt like it might break through. "No," I said again, louder this time. "No, this is not real." But it felt real, too real. I minimized the video and opened my camera app, switching to the front-facing view. My own face stared back at me. Normal, unchanged, exactly how it should be. I moved my hand slowly, watching my reflection mirror the movement perfectly. Then I glanced back at the video. He was still there,
still leaning toward the camera, still watching, but he wasn't moving anymore. He was waiting. I closed the app, shut the browser, sat there in silence. For a few seconds, everything was still. Then my phone buzzed again. Another notification, another upload. I didn't want to open it. Every instinct I had was telling me not to stop, to walk away, to shut everything down and pretend none of this was happening. But I couldn't, because if I didn't look, I wouldn't know what he was doing next. I tapped the notification. The video loaded instantly. This time, the screen was dark, completely black. For a moment, I thought it hadn't loaded properly. Then I saw it, a faint outline, a shape slowly emerging from the darkness. It took me a second to realize what I was looking at, because it wasn't the room, it wasn't the desk, it wasn't the bed. It was a reflection, a screen, and in that screen, I could see myself, sitting exactly where I was, holding my phone, watching the video. My breath caught in my throat, because the angle wasn't from in front of me. It was from behind.
I didn't move. Not at first. My body just stopped. Like it had decided for me that whatever happened next, it was better not to react too quickly. The image on my phone stayed there, dark and grainy, but clear enough to understand. It was my room. From behind me, the back of my chair, the curve of my shoulders, the glow of my phone lighting up my hands, even the slight tilt of my head as I stared down at the screen. Everything matched perfectly, except for one detail. There was something else in the frame. At first, I thought it was just a shadow, something cast by the monitor or the lamp or anything that could explain it away. But the longer I stared, the more it took shape. A figure, standing in the corner of the room, not moving, not breathing, just there. My throat went dry. I tried to tell myself it wasn't real, that it was part of the video, part of whatever trick was being used. But that didn't make sense. If the camera was behind me, if this was actually showing my room from that angle, then that thing... I forced myself to move. Slowly, carefully, I turned my head just a few degrees, not enough to fully look behind me, just enough to shift my perspective. Nothing. The corner was empty, exactly how it should be. I let out a shaky breath and looked back at the screen. The figure was still there, still standing, still watching. But now it was closer. I felt something in my chest tighten so hard it hurt. "No," I whispered. "No, no, no." I didn't remember it moving. I hadn't seen it take a step, but the distance between it and me was smaller now, noticeably smaller. My eyes flicked back to the corner of the room. Still empty, still nothing. Back to the screen, closer. My hands started to tremble. This wasn't possible. It couldn't be, because if it was real, if that thing was actually there, then I should be able to see it. Unless I wasn't meant to. The thought hit me like ice water. I swallowed hard and forced myself to keep watching. The version of me on the screen, the one sitting in the chair, hadn't moved much. He was still staring at his phone, still frozen in the same position I was in now. But there was a slight difference. His breathing. It was faster, more erratic, like he was starting to panic, like he knew something was behind him, just like I did. The figure took another step. I didn't see it move. It was just closer again, close enough now that I could make out more details. Its outline wasn't clean. It wasn't shaped like a normal person. It looked wrong, like parts of it didn't fully exist, like it was flickering in and out of place. But the worst part was its face, or what should have been its face. There was something there, but it wasn't right. It looked like a distorted version of my own, not identical, not clean, just stretched, warped, like someone had taken my features and pulled them slightly out of place. I felt a wave of nausea hit me. I couldn't look away. The version of me on the screen shifted suddenly, just a small movement. His shoulders tensing, his head tilting slightly, like he was listening for something. Then, he started to turn. My heart slammed against my ribs. "No," I whispered again, my voice barely audible. "Don't!" But he didn't stop. Slowly, deliberately, he turned his head until he was looking directly at the camera, at the thing behind him, at it. And the moment his eyes locked onto it, the figure moved. Not a step, not a shift. It was just suddenly right there, close, too close, right behind him. I gasped and jerked forward in my chair, my eyes snapping away from the screen as if that could somehow protect me. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to know what happened next, but my hand betrayed me. It tightened around my phone, and slowly, I looked back. The screen was still on, still recording, but the image had changed. The chair was empty. My chair, empty.
The phone in the video, the one I was holding in the reflection, was still there, lying on the desk, its screen glowing faintly. But I wasn't in it anymore. I stared at it, my mind struggling to process what I was seeing. Because if I wasn't in the chair, then where? A sound behind me. Soft, barely there, but enough. Every nerve in my body lit up at once. I froze again, not out of confusion this time, out of pure, instinctive fear. Something was there. I knew it. I could feel it. Slowly, carefully, I turned my head, just a little, just enough to see the edge of the room behind me. Nothing. Empty. Silent. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Then, my phone screen flickered. I looked down. The video had ended, but a new one was already loading, uploaded just seconds ago. My chest tightened. I didn't want to watch it, but I knew I would, because whatever was happening, it wasn't stopping, and if I didn't keep watching, I might miss something, something important, something that could explain all of this. The video started. This time, the camera wasn't behind me. It was in front, placed exactly where my phone would be if I set it down on the desk. The angle was perfect, centered, clear. And there I was, sitting in my chair, staring at the screen. But something was wrong, because I wasn't holding my phone. I wasn't moving. I wasn't breathing. I was just sitting there, completely still, like I was waiting. The version of me on screen slowly lifted his head. His eyes met the camera, and then he smiled. But it wasn't my smile. It was wider, too wide, stretching further than it should. And as he leaned closer to the camera, his voice came through the speakers, low and steady. "He's right behind you." I didn't turn around, not immediately. Every instinct screamed at me to move, to spin around, to face whatever might be there. But something deeper, something colder held me in place. It felt like if I turned too fast, too suddenly, I'd confirm something I wasn't ready to understand. My eyes stayed locked on the screen, on him, on the version of me that wasn't me. His smile didn't fade. If anything, it grew sharper, like he could see the exact moment fear took hold of me and decided to lean into it. "He's right behind you," he repeated, softer this time, like a whisper meant only for me. My breathing became shallow. Every sound in the room felt amplified. The faint hum of my computer, the distant noise from outside, even the slight creak of my chair as I shifted my weight without realizing it. Behind me, the words echoed in my head. Slowly, carefully, I lifted my eyes away from the screen and toward the wall in front of me, using the reflection in my darkened monitor to see behind me without fully turning. At first, I saw nothing, just the vague outline of my room. Then, something moved, not clearly, not fully, but enough. A ripple, like heat bending the air, except colder, heavier. It stretched across the reflection for just a second before settling again. My stomach dropped. I swallowed hard and kept staring at the reflection, too afraid to look directly, too afraid to look away. "Don't do that," the voice came again from my phone. I flinched. My eyes snapped back to the screen. He was closer now, much closer, so close that his face nearly filled the frame. "You'll miss it if you don't look properly." My hands clenched around the edges of the desk. "What do you want?" I whispered. The words slipped out before I could stop them. For a second, nothing happened. Then he laughed. Not loud, not exaggerated, just a quiet, almost amused sound. "I already told you. I'm you."
"No," I said immediately. "No, you're not." He tilted his head slightly, the same way I did when I didn't believe something. "Then what am I?" I didn't answer, because I didn't have one, and I think he knew that. His smile softened, but it didn't disappear. "You're trying to make this make sense," he continued. "You're looking for something logical, something you can explain." He leaned back slightly, just enough to bring more of the room into view behind him. "But you already know it doesn't work like that anymore." My heart pounded harder. "Stop," I said. "Just stop talking." "Why?" he asked. "Because I'm right?" I shook my head, more to myself than to him. "This is fake. It has to be. Someone's messing with me." "Someone is," he said calmly. The way he said it made my chest tighten. "Who?" I demanded. He didn't answer right away. Instead, his eyes shifted slightly, glancing past the camera for just a moment, towards something behind it, towards something in the room. My room. My breath caught. "Turn around," he said softly. "No, you should." I said no. There was a pause. Then he sighed. "You're making this harder than it needs to be." My pulse was racing now, each beat louder than the last. "I'm not turning around," I said again, firmer this time. Another pause. Longer. He studied me through the screen, his expression unreadable now. Then, slowly, he nodded. "Okay," he said. "Then I will." Before I could react, the camera in the video shifted. Not like someone picked it up, not like it fell. It just changed angle, smoothly, silently, until it was no longer facing him. It was facing the room, facing the space behind him, the space that mirrored the space behind me. I felt every muscle in my body go rigid. "No," I whispered. The camera settled, and there it was, clearer than before, closer than before. The thing in the corner. But it wasn't in the corner anymore. It was standing directly behind him, towering over him. Its shape unstable, shifting slightly at the edges like it couldn't fully hold itself together. Its face, if it even had one, was stretched in that same wrong way, like it was trying to copy something it didn't fully understand, like it was trying to copy me. The version of me in the video didn't react, didn't move, didn't even blink. He just sat there as the thing behind him leaned closer and closer until its head was just inches from his. Then it turned, slowly, directly toward the camera, toward me. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. Because even through the distortion, even through the warped shape and shifting edges, I could tell what it was looking at. Me. Not the version of me in the video. Me. Here. Now. My hands started shaking uncontrollably. "No!" I said again, louder this time. "This isn't real!" The thing's head tilted, mirroring the exact movement I'd made earlier, mocking it, learning it. Then the screen flickered, just once, and the image changed. The room was empty again. No version of me, no figure, nothing. Just the chair, the desk, the quiet stillness of a normal room. My room. I stared at it, my mind struggling to catch up, because for a second, just a second, I thought it was over, that whatever this was had stopped, that I could finally breathe again. Then the audio came back. A soft sound, barely audible. Breathing. Not from the video. From behind me.
I didn't think. I didn't hesitate. Whatever part of me had been holding back, trying to avoid turning around, trying to delay the moment it all became real, that part finally broke. I spun around, fast, violent, desperate. The room behind me was empty. Completely empty. No figure, no distortion, no movement. Just the same familiar walls, the same shadows, the same stillness I'd known my entire life. I stood up so quickly my chair scraped loudly against the floor. My heart was pounding so hard it made my vision pulse. I took a step back, scanning every inch of the room, every corner, every place something could hide. Nothing. There was nothing there. The breathing stopped. Just like that. Silence. I stayed there for a few seconds, frozen, waiting for something else to happen, for another sound, another movement, anything. Nothing came. Slowly, cautiously, I turned back toward my desk. My phone was still there. The screen still on. The video still playing. But it wasn't the same video. It was new. Of course it was new. It was always new. This time the camera angle was different again. Closer. Much closer. So close that it took me a second to understand what I was looking at. It was my face. Not the version of me sitting at the desk. Not the version in the chair. My actual face. Recorded from inches away. The angle was wrong, too close, too intimate, like whoever or whatever was filming it was standing directly in front of me, or had been. My stomach twisted, because I didn't remember this. I didn't remember anyone being that close. The version of me on screen wasn't looking at the camera at first. My eyes were slightly unfocused, like I was looking past it, like I was distracted. Then, slowly, my eyes shifted and locked onto the lens. My breath caught, because the expression on my face wasn't confusion, wasn't fear. It was recognition, like I knew exactly what I was looking at, like I had seen it before. The version of me in the video smiled. Not wide, not exaggerated, just a small, knowing smile. The kind you give when you understand something no one else does. "You finally turned around," he said quietly. My throat tightened. "I told you you would." "I didn't," I started, but the words died in my mouth. Because I had. He wasn't wrong. "I know," he continued. "It doesn't feel like a choice. It never does." My hands were shaking again. "What is this?" I whispered. "What do you want from me?" The version of me tilted his head slightly, studying me.
"You keep asking the wrong question," he said. "Then what's the right one?" For a moment he didn't answer. Then, "Why are there two of us?" The words hung in the air, heavy, wrong. I swallowed hard. "There aren't," I said, even though my voice lacked any real conviction. "There are," he replied calmly. "You've seen it. You've felt it." He leaned a little closer to the camera. "To understand this, you need to stop thinking of it like something that started today." A cold sensation spread through my chest. "What do you mean?" Another pause. Then, "It started a long time ago." My mind raced, trying to keep up, trying to connect something, anything, to what he was saying. "That doesn't make any sense," I said. "I would remember." "No," he interrupted softly, "because you weren't the one who stayed." The room felt colder, sharper.
I didn't think. I didn't hesitate. Whatever part of me had been holding back, trying to avoid turning around, trying to delay the moment it all became real, that part finally broke. I spun around. "What does that mean?" He exhaled slowly, like he'd been waiting for this moment. "Think about it," he said. "All the times you felt like something was off, like you forgot something important, like there was a moment, a decision you couldn't fully remember." I opened my mouth to respond, but nothing came out, because there were moments like that. Small ones, easy to ignore, easy to brush off, but they existed, and now they didn't feel so small. "That's where it happens," he continued. "The split." "The split?" I echoed. He nodded. "One version moves forward, the other doesn't." My heart pounded louder. "You're saying you're what? Another version of me?" "Yes." "No," I said immediately, shaking my head. "No, that's not possible." "It is," he said. "You're just not ready to accept it yet." I stepped back, putting more distance between myself and the screen, like that would somehow make this less real. "If that's true," I said, my voice unsteady, "then why now? Why show me this now?" His expression changed, not dramatically, but enough. Something darker crept into it. "Because you noticed." A chill ran through me. "Not at first, but eventually. You always do." He leaned even closer, so close that his face filled the entire screen. "And once you notice," his voice dropped to a whisper, "it notices you." My breath hitched. "What does?" For the first time since this started, he hesitated. Just for a second, but it was enough. Because whatever confidence he had before, whatever control, it cracked. "Don't," he started. Too late, because the screen behind him, the space that should have just been a blurred wall, moved. Something shifted in the darkness, something tall, something wrong, the same thing I'd seen before, only clearer now, closer. It stood directly behind him, and this time, he saw it too. His expression changed instantly. The smile vanished, the calm disappeared, replaced by something I hadn't seen on his face yet. Fear. Real fear. "No," he whispered. My heart stopped, because if he was afraid of it, then what chance did I have? The thing behind him leaned forward, slow, silent, its distorted face hovering just over his shoulder, watching, learning, waiting. He didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't even blink. "Don't look at it," he said quickly. "Whatever you do, don't." The screen flickered violently, the image glitched, and then it cut. Black. My reflection stared back at me from the dark screen, pale, shaking, alone. I waited. Seconds passed. Nothing.
No new video, no sound, no movement, just silence. Slowly, carefully, I lifted my head and looked at the screen one last time because I needed to be sure, needed to know it was over, that it had stopped, that whatever this was done. The screen stayed black, still, empty, until a single notification appeared. New upload. My hands trembled as I read the title. It wasn't from the channel. It wasn't from him. It was from my account. And the title said, "I can see him now."